both of you today. All right. Come say hi. Hey everyone, welcome to the Knitting Den. A lovely Tuesday morning again here in Colorado. This is episode number 132 and today is Tuesday, September 30th. The last day of September, and I can't believe it's actually here. Tomorrow is August. No, it's not. Tomorrow is October 1st. It's just mind-boggling. Oh, I like October because it's my birthday month. Alright, I'm Denise. I'm also known as Knitting Den on Ravelry and Instagram. And that's about all the places I frequent these days. I want to welcome everyone. Pull up a chair, get your coffee, all my sweet dear friends. And if you're new and you're watching for the first time today, I do still class you as a friend, so get yourself comfy. And I hope you enjoy the show. If you haven't already done so, join the Ravelry group too. There's a lot of fun over there. Well, there's lots of information about prizes, CALs, finished object, giveaways, things like that. And now I'm looking for Miss Fluff again, but she's gone. So I want to welcome special welcome to those that did leave an introduction in the Ravelry group this week. So I want to say hi to Oki Lynn. That's how I pronounce it, Oki Lynn. She's from Oklahoma, and that's Lynn. And before I move on, a couple of you asked questions this week when you left an introduction, so I was going to answer Lynn's question. Well, not that I have a great answer, but Lynn asked if I had a favourite yarn that I used, I think mainly for sweaters, that doesn't pill. And my answer to that is I don't have a favourite yarn, and I can't even recommend a yarn. I haven't knit that many, I don't think, sweaters, to be honest. And the last big one I knit for hubby, I certainly wouldn't recommend that yarn, which was Barocco Vintage, which is pilling like crazy. Now, it turned out a bit too small for hubby, and I wear it, said this before, I wear it downstairs just to keep me warm when it gets a bit chilly down there. I may, if I remember, try and bring that up one episode and show you the pilling, specifically under the arms. The other things, and I'll tell you what I'm wearing in a second, and off the top of my head, the Derry Raglan sweater which I knit last year, I haven't worn them enough to see if they pill, to be honest. Honestly, I very rarely wear the sweaters I knit. I'm trying to get better at that. There's Bindi. So, I can't really recommend anything right now. If you're watching this and you have used a yarn that is fabulous for sweaters and doesn't pill, let Lynn know and let me know. Just leave a message in the thread this week and give us some information on what you've used. I hope that is not too noisy. I have to say it was freezing this morning. I am surprised I'm still out on the porch, and I know I'm digressing from the hellos, but you know, I just say what's on top of my head. It's 39 degrees this morning. I took Kristen up to the bus stop at 6:40. The sun has come out, so I'm sure that's going to warm things up a bit, but the high is only 69 today, and as I said, you can hear it's quite breezy, and we have workmen over in the house next door doing building a porch or some extension on the back. Hopefully that won't get Bindi barking like crazy. Alright, let's move on. So I want to say hi, also hi Lynn. Sorry that got off on a tangent there. I want to say hi to Dee, and this is just Dee on Ravelry, and she's in Canada. Hi Dee. And Leslie, who is Les Deer in Washington, and that is Washington State, not Washington DC. And your local yarn store is over 60 miles away. That's very sad. So I totally understand. And this is why one of the reasons I got to podcasting and watching podcasts, because I did have a local yarn store at the time back in Texas, but no real knitting friends, as I've often said. So I hope you enjoy sitting down with us, and I'm sure you're checking out other great podcasts as well. This is just a fabulous community, and after 2 years I still love watching my old favourites, and I'm loving finding some new podcasts, as we recently have done with Bakery Bears, Kay and Dan, James from Dancing Geek, and I want to say hi to, I'm not sure if it's Amy now, oops, but she's Little Bobbin Knits on Ravelry, and her little dog is Little Bobbin. I want to say hi because I've been watching her podcast. She's on to, I think she's got 3 episodes, and she's in England as well. And I love, I mentioned this, I love sitting down to listen to the English podcasts, and I think, I think Zena from the Little Yellow Uke podcast, who formerly was Nitty Natter on Ravelry, which eventually I will stop saying because we'll all know her as Little Yellow Uke. I think her her second new podcast is out, but she was having trouble putting it on iTunes. Anyway, lastly, not least, I want to say Minty, and I'm going to guess at your name being pronounced Terry, spelled T-E-R-H-I, and you're in Finland. I would just pronounce that Terry, but it might be slightly different. If it's a Finnish name, I'm not sure. You asked Bindi, don't whine. You asked a question as well. The forest foliage. You said it was lovely, thank you, but you asked if it was difficult to knit, and yes, I did use Malabrigo sock yarn. I only used one skein, and it was in the Arbol colourway, which stands for tree in Spanish. But I would have to say I found it a difficult knit, mainly because I found the instructions a little confusing. In hindsight, it doesn't seem as difficult, but at the time, when they don't, not every stitch is counted for. You have to take into account that you've increased some, so you have to know when to knit up to the next pattern part. I even find it confusing and hard to explain why it's confusing to me, if that makes sense. But anyway, it was a little difficult. I certainly wouldn't say a beginner. If you're adventurous, you could, but I wouldn't say it's for a beginner. Intermediate, you could give it a try. Yeah, I wouldn't knit it again. I love it, and I would like to knit it again because I feel like I would know what I'm doing, but there's always a million other shawls and beautiful projects I want to get to, so I doubt I will knit it again. Bindi looks like she's settling down. Are you settled down now? Yeah? There she is, and it's just as well I'm not sitting over there because it's quite, oh, it looks a bit lighter when we move the camera like that. Are you comfy, Bindi? You comfy? Don't bark at them workmen now. Okay, so that is welcomes to everyone and a little bit of chatter in between. And before I move on, I did, when I mentioned iTunes there that Zena was having a bit of an issue, I don't even think I put the podcast. Bindi, are you shaking because you're cold, sweetie? Oh, she looks like she's freezing. Come here, sweetheart. I've got a blanket here. Bindi, come over here. Hold on. Look, I've even brought a blanket out, a throw in case it's really cold. I'm going to put it on the seat for her. Do you want a blanket, really? There you go. Because you like to stay outside with Mummy, don't you? There you go. There. That's a bit better. Is that better for you? Otherwise you might have to go in if it's too cold. Oops. Sorry about all the stops and starts there. Let's get back to where we were. I could see her shivering. It wasn't nice. She should have sat on this chair, but she's settled down now. She'll figure it out. If she's too cold, she'll move. While my hot coffee is hot, I'm going to keep on sipping it. And look, I'm in Seattle today. Woohoo! With a coffee cup. Is that called a needle? I'm not sure. The skyline. This is, thank you, Lindsay, for getting this to me. We had another little swap. Okay, where are we? iTunes. I don't even think I put it on iTunes. I know I didn't put it on iTunes last week. Podcast Garden is just getting on my nerves. And to be honest, I'm not sure when the subscription is up, but when it is up, I'm not renewing it. I know it was only $30, but I paid for it. Half the time people are having issues. And to be honest, a lot of podcasters are just simply using YouTube now. And I might end up just doing that. I will keep on trying to do iTunes until the subscription, I wanted to say prescription, till the subscription runs out, but after that I'm sorry, but I might lose viewers, which I'll be sad about, but I just don't know how to get it to work, and Podcast Garden just does not seem reliable enough. So, okay, I'm going to faff on with the hair. Yes, I did wash it today, can you tell? Let's see. Oh, so, and I didn't want to stand up again, so I'm going to move this camera a bit. I am wearing today, and this is another thing that I've not really worn very much. This is called the Summer's End cardigan. It's got a little bit of lace detail down here. It's hard to see, but as I said, I didn't really want to stand up. So if I move forward, you can see it's a tweedy yarn, and I did write it down for you, I think. Oops, no I didn't. Yes I did. It's Knit Picks Wool of the Andes tweed, but I don't know the colourway. I'd have to check the Ravelry page for that. Sorry, I'm up and down with the camera. I really apologise. Okay, turn the page. Oh, lots of chatting. So, how was your week? Hold on. Sorry, I didn't mean to say hold on. It's cooling down quickly, and I usually have to reheat it. And I'm going to take a bite of the last little crumb of biscuit. Oh no, it's not a Kit Kat because they've all gone. I just realised this morning that I used the last 2 sticks from a king-sized Kit Kat I was sent with my coffee, my first coffee, and then I didn't have any to bring out with me. Silly me. So that was a little biscuit sandwich, creamy biscuit, cheap ones. But I generally just like a bite of them when I'm drinking coffee. So I hope you all had a fabulous week. Let's see what we did. I don't even think I did much last week. I didn't write it down. I still think that a lot of my head gets chopped off when I sit. The weather carried on being really hot, mid-80s for the rest of the week until Sunday, and it was overcast and a little cooler. We got a little rain. Yesterday had a huge downpour. We had some hail, and it was very cold as well. And today, despite the fact that it does look fabulous, it's blue skies and sunshine, it's one of the coolest days that we've had for a while, and tomorrow is only going to be a high of 63. So I did come prepared. I've got my Terraform in case I'm really chilly, but it's not too bad on this side of the porch. I brought out the blanket that I was going to put across my knee if it was really, really chilly, because I want to stay out here as long as possible. And I don't mean just today, I mean, every week. So, nothing going on, just a little info about the weather. I have noticed a little change in colours on the trees. I've got, don't you dare, no. I've got a tree over there that's losing its leaves and it's gone yellow a little bit. So there's little hints of fall colours going around, and when it gets a little bit more noticeable, I think I'll have to show you around. And we've got a couple of large trees in the back that go a gorgeous red colour. So I'll have to show you them at some point. Let's jump straight into the den. I was going to start with what left the den instead of what's in the den. Not much knitting at all, because I spent a lot of last week finishing off my Forest Elf. And yes, it's finished. It needs a button on it. And I was going to bring it out today, and I wrote it all down. And then I went to get it where it was laying blocking in one of the spare rooms, and it's still quite wet, damp. Especially the hood, because I wet blocked that. I actually submerged that in water. I didn't do the rest of it like that. I blocked it again, spray blocked it, laid it out, because I didn't want anything else to stretch on it. The sleeves were a perfect length. I was just really worried that it would grow too much. And because it's quite damp, it's making it heavier, so I didn't really want to carry it and pick it up off the floor. Next week, I'll have the rest of the ends tied in. I will find a toggle or a button. I want to get one of what I call a toggle for it. It's only got one button at the top, and I will model it. So sorry I can't show you it for anyone tuning in. This is what is finished. It's called Forest Elf, and it's got a hood on it. I have knit it with some wool, Highland wool and alpaca 80/20, and I didn't bring the ball band, and it's let's see, right, it's from Elan yarn, and it's a Sierra Aran. I'll bring the ball band if I remember, and try to show you everything one last time next week when I model it. So I haven't got anything to show you, finished. What's in the den, because I focused a lot on getting that jacket finished, I had the whole hood to do, and sometimes I don't get to knit until in the evening, an hour or two, so I try to pick that up every time I sat down in the evening. So I'm going to grab a couple of things that I did work on. Squeeze me. I'll try to bring them all up at the same time. I didn't work on the Iwi, so that'll get a mention next week if I'm working on it. That's a swing line kind of sweater. Shoo. And the only things I have worked on, small things, I was trying to work on this in my lovely, I had to use this today because it's fall, and the leaves are starting to change this colour. This is one of my grab bags, the knotted bags in the shop, and I am having an update tomorrow. I haven't announced it yet even, but I've got a few bags and I'm going to show them today. I'll get onto that at the end. What I'm knitting here, just using Vanna's Choice, and it's acrylic for a baby hat. I showed you it I think last week, and there's not much of it done, even though it is kind of, it's garter stitch, but because it's in the round, you have to knit and purl a row around. So this has got ear flaps. These are the little ear flaps, and windy. I will show you it because it's kind of hard to see what it's like. Here it is. I've got it up hopefully already. It's by Pearl Bee, and of course it's not going to load. Pearl Soho by the Pearl Bee, and it is this style. I've never seen it before. I've got to scroll all the way up now for a picture. Come on. Here it is. I hope I don't lose it there. There. So it's got ear flaps kind of built in, just a little, just to cover the ears slightly, not huge big ear flaps. And I saw this from Deb, who is Tink Hickman on Ravelry. She had posted a finished object, and I just loved the look of it. Never seen it before, so I'm going to knit it. I should have it finished by next week, now that I've finished the larger jacket. The only thing, it's just a nice charcoaly kind of grey. The only problem right now is, because you have to knit around and then purl around, I keep forgetting, and I knit past my stitch mark up at the beginning of the round, and I carry on knitting until I realise I'm supposed to be purling. So I've had to scoop it back a few times, but it shouldn't take me long, as I said, now that I'm finished a larger project. Oh, excuse me, the yarn fell on the floor. So I'll just put that away. I think I need to concentrate on a few small things over the next few weeks, to be honest, because I need to wrap up making some stuff for the year-long knit-along. As I said, I can't believe it's October tomorrow, and I want to get well ahead of the game, get everything finished, and start packing that up and put it in a box ready to ship off the year Christmas. Alright, the other thing, I had this in the car. This is a bag last year. I was going to try and make some of these for the Pinktober. This is actually flannel. I wasn't sure if it would work for a bag, but I tried it last year and it does. I love it. It's so soft and squishy. So I made myself that. Did I make some like this, or did I? No, I think I did some other fabric. Can't remember now. But I had in here a sock that I was keeping in the car for car knitting, and I'm using up leftover Dancing Dog Dye Works yarn, self-striping, as you can see. When I say I'm not sure what the name is, excuse me, I'm going to have to get better at this. So I kept this in the car, but I got to the point where I was ready to do the heel, and I'm doing this fish lip kiss heel, and I couldn't remember how to do it, so I had to bring it into the house to watch the video and you know, get the heel done. And just so happens that last week Kiki needed picking up from school at about 4 o'clock, so I headed up there, which is like a 20-minute drive away. And when I got there, she had text and said I might be a little longer. She was inside the classroom finishing up stuff. And she said, I might be a little longer. Do you have your knitting? And I didn't have the knitting. It'd been in the car for weeks and I didn't have it. And I had to sit there for 30 minutes. So I need to learn a lesson and just make sure if I take it out of the car, I should put something else back in there. But I got the heel done, and this is the fish lip kiss heel. And because I'm actually using, I don't have much of it left at all, and I don't know if it's going to work. I'm only going to make very small little anklets. I've already knit a pair of socks with this, plain vanilla socks, but a little large, you know, a little taller, longer at the top. I wanted to use up the yarn, and I was going to start trying to knit smaller pairs, and simply because I want some car knitting, that's all I'm going to try. So I'm only going to try and do a little bit more and put a cuff around it. I might stick a pom-pom on the back and make it a little anklet. I don't know. That got a little bit of love because I needed to get the heel done. So, you know, rather plain Jane there, but I thought I'd show you it. And lastly, I cast this on this week. I had a picture on Instagram. Simply, I love garter stitch, I have to tell you. Now, you know, I cast on recently a log cabin blanket, because quite a few of us are getting the log cabin bug, thanks to Kay, Bakery Bears, not Bakery Bears, Bryony Bear, from the Bakery Bears podcast. She cast on a log cabin blanket, and she cast on a second one. We're using the pattern Learn How to Knit a Log Cabin Blanket, and it was, let's see, I'm sure I wrote this down because I always forget. Stacey Perry. So I did one square, and I'm using autumnal colours. You might have seen it. I think there's a picture in the Ravelry, on my Ravelry page. I've only just started a second square, but then I had an idea that I want something for my bed, but not necessarily colours or the autumnal colours. I like the creamy white wintry colours. And I keep wanting to knit some cushion covers, nice cabled covers. Never get round to it. So then I had an idea that I would do a log cabin blanket, all the same colour. I know, it might sound not very good, but this is like an off-white, wintry cream colour, I would say. It's not that creamy. It's the Hobby Lobby's I Love This yarn, and it's really soft. I love it. Much better than Red Heart acrylic. And this is what I'm doing. I know it's hard to see, isn't it? And I think somehow it's got a little warp, this one. But I'm just carrying on. I think it'll be okay once it kind of lays flat. So, as you can see, I started with this square. And then I cast off. Where are we? Here. You cast off. And then I've done this part. And you cast off and then you do this part. But because I'm using all one colour, well, I do cast off, but look, I don't have any ends to weave in. So my goal is, and the reason I stuck with one colour is I thought it would still be nice, because you'll see it's kind of like different textures, because you've got, you know, the ribbon going this way and the ribbon going this way, so, and that way. So I envision this big wide bedspread, all cream coloured, but you can still see squares, even though it's all the same colour. If you can, you know, if you can see what I mean, you'll know what I mean. So I kind of picked that up and cast on this week, using a size 7. No, this is a size 6. The other one is a size 7. But I decided to go down a needle size because, as I mentioned before, I'm often a little loose, and I like that it's kind of, you know, it's not too open. It's got a nice feel to it, spongy, squashy, squishy. That's why I like garter stitch, especially plain garter stitch like this. It's super squishy for blankets. And I have it, excuse me, I have it in my fabulous Bakery Bears bag from Kay. It's her label that she sent me. And we've got cute normies and gingerbread and candy canes. I totally forgot that word. What a surprise. And it's got the little Bakery Bears podcast button and one of her zipper pulls, which she does like to tell people it's not a zitted book pill. We just put beaded zipper pulls usually on our bags. So, excuse me, something's catching in my throat. I'm keeping the label, look, trying to be good. And it does have a colour name. It's called Ivory. So there you go. And believe it or not, those are the only easy small things I have picked up this week, apart from the jacket. I'm really miffed about the fact that I haven't been able to bring it to show you. Nothing I can do about it though. I made an executive decision to just leave it there until it dries. So with that, that was what's in the den. And I've written down here a couple of goals I want to try and achieve. Finish the year-long knit-along projects. I did cast on a Sonoma slipper with my hand spun, and I needed to knit the second one. I've made a decision to not bother doing that, and I don't know if I'll pull this other one out. I'm not happy with it. Don't like the feel of it, and the fit is kind of weird. I've tried it on. So I'm going to pick something else. I'm still looking at something like a nice thick chunky sock or slipper, something quick, and I'm picking something like that because I don't want to try and knit a pair of socks with fingering weight yarn in case I don't get the size right. So that is a goal. I need to think about getting stuff finished up for that, and I am on a mission to find some yarn for the Lawrence knit along that I'm starting in January. So with that, let's move into knit along news. Pinktober. I'm not going to go into too much again. It's October 1st tomorrow, I will open a thread, hopefully today, so it's ready for tomorrow. You've been able to knit on anything pink for Pinktober for now. Do not cast off today and finish it, please. You can only enter to win prizes if it's finished between October 1st and October 31st. So hold off, finish it tomorrow and then take pictures, and then you've got, you're well ahead of the game to get your finished objects in there. And then you can cast on something else if you've got something finished this quickly. I will say, I'm not going to go into all the prizes. I'm going to gather them up and show you them next week, when we'll already be in, finished the first week of October. I'm doing the Pinktober with Kathy from, I hope that's not so noisy, from the Knit Nerd podcast. Check out her podcast and the Ravelry group, the Knit Nerd. I don't know if it's the Knit Nerd podcast. I'm going to try and link to everything again today, especially those that I mentioned, or groups or podcasts or people. And Kathy is doing the Race for the Cure this year, so check out her thread about information on how you can help with that this year, and you could donate. This is our third Pinktober, and for the past 2 years we've only just done breast cancer awareness. But this year Kathy's going to race. Good luck, Kathy. Brave woman. I hate running, so I've never really done anything like that. So very brave woman, and fabulous that she's wanting to do this. I know it always looks like a really fun day for everyone in the community, for the support of breast cancer as well, and fundraising. Check it out. You can donate, and she's having some giveaways, prizes. If you donate a minimum of $5, you'll get a ticket. So go read all about that in Kathy's group. And with that said, I'll move on to another knit along, which is, my hair's getting in my getting on my nerves. Hats for kiddos. That is why I was doing the Garter ear flap hat, and last week I showed you the Helix striped hat with the big pom-pom on the top. That is for Hats for Kiddos Cal, and that's been hosted by Daniela and Ali. Daniela is Caffeinated Gert, and Ali is Ali Cat on Ravelry, and they are hosting the Caffeinated Knitting podcast. And if you know from watching past episodes, it used to just be Daniela, and now Callie has joined her. So they're looking to collect 300 hats for babies and kids from age newborn to 3 years old, and I think these are the kids that Ali works with. Check out their group, and they've got lots of fabulous prizes, so I'm going to enter my hats. And I did make a note this week, because I keep forgetting, it is going up to October 31st. They started this on September 1st, so it's a 2-month cal. There's lots of different cals going on for October, so Pinktober, Hats for Kiddos, and another one that's starting tomorrow is the Toy Knit Along with Penhook Needles podcast and Bakery Bears podcast. Dan and Kay are joining Marlisha and Talia to do the toy along this year. So, got to think about getting a toy on the needles as well. I have something in mind, so I might try and do that as well. And finally, not a knit along, but September finished objects. In the Ravelry thread, I do a monthly drawing for one of the Kikiboo bags. I'm going to leave that till next week, because I want to give anybody a chance that might be trying to put in today a finished object. I'm not going to close it until tonight or probably tomorrow morning, and I'm going to draw for that at the beginning of next week's show. And tomorrow there'll be a new thread started. I've got October and about 3 more chances to win a Kikiboo bag with your finished objects, and I might actually stop doing that come the new year. Still thinking about it. So that's all of that news, and some more. Gosh, again, what? Seriously? It's a lot of chatting because there's never much knitting to show, but that's okay. I want to move on now and tell you about another giveaway It's not a knit along though. This is a prize giveaway, and it's not from me. This is from, it's going to be from Ashley, who is Carolina's spinner on Ravelry. She contacted me recently, over a week ago, to let me know about her new spinning business, and it's going to be Twist Fibre Studios. She's doing a Kickstarter. To be honest, I've never really heard of a Kickstarter for her business. I've heard that you would kickstart your business off doing something. So obviously that's what a Kickstarter is. I've just never put it in those terms. Ashley is trying to raise funds for her initial order to get her business going. And this week I just watched Knitting in Circles with Darren and Amy, and they mentioned it as well. I'm not sure if Ashley has contacted some other podcasters for, to help. And if they do mention it, they may be having giveaways as well. So, I keep saying so as well, sorry. I am waiting to hear from Ashley because I don't have a link to her website yet. And I know she's going to kick it off tomorrow. She's obviously very busy getting all of this organised. Let me see if it's still picked, it's not still on my iPad page, but I want to show you it because they look absolutely fabulous. I have some pictures of her bags and the yarn and the fibre that she's going to be doing. So let me get that up. I might just fast forward a little so you're not waiting. So hold on. Here we go. In here it. Oh my goodness. So what she's doing is, when we get the link, I'm going to open a thread probably today or tomorrow to let you know this information, and as soon as I get a link to the website, I'd like you to go on over there, and I'll put information in the thread about this. I'd like you to go over there and check out her website, and I'm going to talk about this next week as well. If I can give Ashley any help with getting some orders for her business, I would love to. And in fact, I might have to treat myself to something like this too. What she's starting off with, she's got other stuff, yarn. She's going to possibly give away a skein of yarn or some fibre, and she's doing project bags. But she's going to have the Perfect Pair project bag set. It's called the Perfect Pair. Oh, there's 3 things in it, not 2. I'm going to show you it and then I can talk about it because I just think it's fabulous. The colour combinations and the bags. This one is my favourite. I love yellow and grey. I didn't realise I liked it so much, but I love that fibre. And I love the yarn. I'm not sure if it's self-striping or variegated, and the bag is just gorgeous. And then look at this one. Oh my gosh. Beautiful colours. Kind of aqua green and orangey looking reds, purple, kinds of blue. Oh there, look at that. You still have some glare on that, but I hope you could see it. I'm not sure of the prices. As I said, I need to get the link to the website so I can look and give that to you guys as well. But once I get it in there for you, check it out. It's always wonderful to help people that are starting off their businesses, especially in our community. I know there's lots of, well, you want to call it competition out there for fibre artists and dyers and bag makers like myself, stitch markers, craft, all of us. We're kind of all competition, but I don't look at it that way. We just all love doing what we do, so if we can sell it and we can earn a living from it, that's great. I don't earn a living from mine. I don't really get enough bags out there to do that. I keep thinking of trying to do that, but still juggling the time. Anyway, I just wanted to tell you all of that. And you may hear me chat about it, and Darren and Amy may mention it again because they're going to have a thread in their group. So let's move on. And Ashley, I wish you all the best in opening your business tomorrow, sweetie. show and tell. Just a quickie. Now, I have a couple of things I can't bring out because I ate the Kit Kat that was in this package, and I forgot to bring the packet of coffee out that was in this package. But the sweet Amelia, my sweet friend Amelia, I want to say, I'll call her Ravelry name Emil Carve 1963. Amelia. She sent me a little package this week, and I was just fabulous. And I got a knitting magazine. I don't have this one. And as you know, I love my English knitting magazines. And she sent a Kit Kat for me, king size, and some coffee, which was Dunkin' Donuts. I was just drinking it now. It's fabulous. Dunkin' Donuts, I don't know how you say this, Arabica coffee. And she also sent, and I'm using it here, I've got to move my coffee. She sent me 3 gorgeous crocheted coasters. Aren't they beautiful? I love them. I can't crochet, so I love these, and I was just using one. It's really nice to put your coffee cup on and not hear the clunk of ceramic hitting, you know, a wooden stool. It's fabulous. So I have not looked all the way through this. I like to oh, the word's gone. Never mind, you know what I mean. But I like to take my time and you know, read these at my leisure. So, oh. I told you I hadn't looked through this. I just flicked through and I didn't even see this because it's not on the front. But look at this baby dress, and look, it's got the little L's round it. Isn't that so cute? I guess that could be like a little tunic and you could put leggings on. But it's called a dress with the popular L motif. A quick gift for babies. That is just adorable. Anyway, I did not go through it all, so I'm not going to pick out anything I like. I will in the coming weeks show you things that I like. I do like this. I have got me glasses on. I haven't looked at this properly either, but I do like that tank. That's kind of me when it comes to tanks. So thank you again, Amelia. I love it. It's so fun getting things in the mail like that. And the Kit Kat's already gone. And I must say, I didn't eat all the Kit Kat. I put it in the cookie barrel, biscuit barrel, and every time I went to get a little stick off it, it kind of had shrunk. So I think hubby or Kiki has been dipping their hands in my cookie jar. Well, I know it's their cookie jar too, but that was my Kit Kat. All right. So take a breath, Denise, and let's move on. I don't have anything new to the queue yet. No spinning, and for the first time I think in forever, or the first time ever, no book talk. Nothing really to mention that I haven't mentioned before. I'm getting nasally because of the allergies. Sorry. So let's move on to, I was going to say book talk, girly chatter. Alright, and where is it? Oh, here it is. Sorry, this hair's driving me nuts. This week, I was going to show you my new paper pumpkin kit from Stampin' Up. Came in the mail this past week. And for anyone that doesn't know anything about Paper Pumpkin or Stampin' Up obviously, well, it might not be obvious, but it is stamping cards. It's the online store with demonstrators. You know that you buy your stamping products for scrapbooking and card making and all that. I have a local gal that I got in touch with that I buy my supplies from now, and sometimes go along to card making sessions. And through her, I signed up for this monthly treat, as I like to think of it. It's about $20 a month, and it's called Paper Pumpkin, and it's from Stampin' Up. And every month you get a different craft. And I was going to start trying to show you what comes every month. And I stuck it in girly chatter because it's show and tell, but it's nothing to do with the knitting. So this month we got these. This is the how to do it kind of brochure, the little thing, and tells you what's included in your kit. And yes, as you can see, these are little burlap. I wanted to call it Hessian because I know we called it that in England before. And I made one yesterday to show you, and I'm going to show you how it comes without making it all fall. It all comes in pieces. So we have, I think, 6 burlap bags, stripy ones and spotty ones. You do get some stamps, and you get ink with it. Every month you'll get a little different colour, and this one calls for black ink as well, but because they don't supply the black ink, just in case you don't have black ink, they have given you, and you can see I've used this one, they've given you these little stickers as well, so it looks as if you stamped it. And we got little tags to go with it. Everything else you need with it, the cards to stamp on and just punch out, and then the coloured cards behind it. You just get everything. I got the thread to close up the bags, and you get the little I don't know what you call these, but it's the spongy things that help to give it like the 3D effect. So I made one, and here's the one I made. And it's a little bag. There's nothing in it right now because I didn't have anything to put in it. So you just you make the card, and see how it's those things are there to give it that little popped up appearance. This is a sticker because I didn't have any black ink. Believe it or not, I don't have black ink yet. It came with the peg and a little bit of glitzy orange sequins, and I tied the bag. And obviously you could put in there candy or what have you. Now, I've had this wonderful idea because I'm getting these every month now, and a lot of time I either don't have time to do anything with them. I did try and make some cards last month, sent some out to friends and pen pals. And so I've had the fabulous idea that I'm going to make the rest of these, and I might not put candy in them. I might put a little gift in, like some stitch markers or a Zeded Bupper pill, and I'm going to send them to friends. Now, of course, I've got more than 6 friends now, so unfortunately not everyone gets one. But I think it's great for, the pen pals that I'm collecting, as I said. That's for want of a better word. I have some nice pen pals that write to me regularly. So I think it would be nice to make the time to do these things and get something out in the mail like that. So that is kind of a show and tell, but it's the beginning of girly chatter. Which brings me to, this might be fun. And it's a lot of chatter. Oh, I did have pictures as well. I'm gonna show on here. Actually, no, I'm going to insert the pictures because I think it'll look clearer when I'm talking about them. So I wanted to talk this week about Halloween, and I was going to talk about, excuse me, dry throat, and this is going to be cold coffee, but I need a sip. I don't like cold coffee, but I was getting a bit dry. I was going to talk about Halloween this week and kind of why we celebrate it and whatever, but I don't think of it as celebration. I'm not going to get into that side of things, whether it's like your beliefs make you not want to celebrate or take part in it and all that. I'm not getting into that. Each to their own. I have my reasons. And I will say I am a Christian, but I still have my reasons for, taking part in Halloween. I won't say celebrate. It's just a traditional thing that, being over here, I've done with my daughter. What I wanted to talk to you about was, when I think back, is the difference. I don't know if I've got this hair propped up with my glasses. That might be the problem. The difference, yes, hold on. There you go. How's that look, James? Between Halloween here and in Britain, or in England. So I made a few notes and I wanted to take you back. This is why it was different. It may be quite similar now. I've been in the States over 16 years, 17 years I think nearly, and it may be different. I know a lot of kids do dress up and get costumes now, and I know this from my sister's grandkids, and I know what she does with them. But back in the day when I was little, we didn't dress up. We didn't have costumes. It was a totally American kind of thing. The only time I would have ever seen anything like that would have been on TV. But we did have Halloween, and it was a fun night for us kids, and what we did was carve out a turnip. Not a pumpkin. I don't think I saw a pumpkin until I was an adult, honestly. A real pumpkin. We didn't have pumpkins. And I'm talking back in the 70s, early 70s, you know, when I was 10, 12, possibly earlier than that. So on that day, we would run home from school. We might have done it the day before, I don't know. I just remember carving out a turnip, what we call a turnip. Now, I've had to look into this. I know there's other names for it, and over here, if you go looking for a turnip in the supermarket, you'll find small little round turnips that are kind of white with purple around the top. Our turnips are what you call here, I'll try and pronounce this the way you pronounce it, rutabaga. Rutabaga. It's got a T in it, believe it or not, but they say it rutabaga because they pronounce their T's with a D. I put it up here for those in England, rutabaga. And we would carve this. It was rock hard. If you've had a rutabaga or turnips, you'll know that is rock solid. And I remember carving this out with a spoon. So I'm going to, before I tell you a little bit more, insert pictures of turnips carved out for Halloween here. And as you can see, I showed you a picture where we actually would tie some string, make holes on either side of this lantern, because we were carving the face in it, just like a jack-o'-lantern, which I'd never heard of back then either. But you'd put string on it, and you would carry it like a lantern. And that's what we did for Halloween night. We would carve our pumpkin, put a candle in it, and not a tea light. Didn't have things like tea lights, not when I was a kid. We would get a candle, and if it was too tall, you'd have to cut it in half, and you'd drip wax in the bottom and then stand your candle in it so it wouldn't fall over. And we used to actually still put the lid on in case the candle blew out, because it was obviously, you know, probably cold and chilly and that evening in October in England. And we would put a hole through the top of the lid so that the candle wouldn't snuff out, kind of thing. So I wanted to show you those pictures because I just looked at them for the first time today as well, and I hadn't seen one in years. And I don't think, or I don't even know, I should say, whether kids do that back in England now, or whether they carve pumpkins. I think they might carve pumpkins now. Dan and Kay, or Zena, or James, or Sam, any of you guys, if you remember, either leave a message in the thread this week, if you're watching this, and tell us a little of what goes on right now, or mention it in your podcast, if you remember. I'd really like to hear about what you do. And a couple of more things. I jotted this down. We actually called it Narky Night. Don't ask me why. I don't know what the narky is. And again, this is what I'm saying, narky. Because if I didn't write that, I think Americans would not know what I'm saying, because we don't really pronounce the R as much as you would. I think you would say something like narky, because you pronounce R's. I'm in the living room. The battery died on the camera, even though I thought it was fully charged when I started. Shows you how long I'd been waffling on. And I did go get an extension to kind of charge, well, plug in the phone while I was chatting, but I went back outside and my hands were freezing. And I thought, okay, why not just come inside for a few minutes to just finish this off. So here I am in the living room, and I've closed this curtain so you can't, so you can see me, otherwise the windows are behind me. But for anyone that was going to say, oh, show me, I can't sit there because, I would be too dark, but that's the view to the right of me here right now. And if I flip it around, that's what's on the other side of me. And again, too dark because of all of the windows and the sun streaming in. But you might be able to see little Miss Fluff. Bindi is sitting over there on her perch. Bindi, there she is. So yeah, and obviously I have not cleaned up around here, but never mind. So let's see if we can finish this off. Because as I said, I was waffling a lot. And I was talking about turnips and how we called it gnarky. Don't know why, gnarky night. And I remember, I don't think we did this all of the time. But back when I was young and little, we didn't have much money. To the point where I have 5 siblings. My older sisters probably were married and out of the house when I can remember doing the Halloween with the turnip. But I remember one year we actually walked a couple of miles away from the house up to some field where a farmer had turnips growing in a field, and we stole turnips. And we would actually call it narky nicking. This doesn't make sense to some people over here. Dan might be laughing, I don't know, although you're not from right up north. So you might never have even heard of narky either. But when you nick something in England, it means you stole it. Or we also say pinch it, not pinch, but if you pinch something, it means it's stolen as well. Here's Bindi trying to come up. Are you trying to come up? Come on then. So we would go narky nicking to nick a narky to steal a turnip. Come here then, come up. Come on. Don't know what she wants. Probably to go out. So we would steal a turnip, sorry, and can't get this finished. And we would carve it. And what I wanted to just mention was, apparently, the reason we carve pumpkins over here, it does come from, I think she might need to go potty. I'll be right back. I'm back, and I had to make myself a hot cup of tea because I was cold. This smells lovely, and I am now using my Alaska mug, and it is quite hot, but this is what I'm drinking. And I thought Talia might like to know this because she's always telling us what kind of lovely tea she has. And Marlisha, this was sent to me as fresh and fruity cranberry and sangina. I have no idea, but it's orange. And it's lovely. Sorry for the slurping, but it's super hot as well. But I just needed it to warm up my hands. Okay, what I was trying to say was, the reason we carve pumpkins here is because many, many years ago, and I didn't write when, but the Celtic people in Ireland, apparently, they were the ones that carved turnips, which is obviously why we do, and they used to light them with embers to ward off evil spirits. So they would put embers inside of the turnip. And it was when they came to the US and they discovered pumpkins, they realised that that was much easier to carve, the hollow pumpkin, and then pull out the soft flesh. It was much easier to carve than a turnip. And apparently that is why we all now carve the the pumpkins. So, that is just a little of what I used to do way back in the day when it was Halloween. And actually 5 days after that, we had another celebration of Guy Fawkes Night. And I'll maybe talk about that later at another time. That's on November 5th, and that is the time in England when we see fireworks. We don't see fireworks on 4th of July. So, that was all about my Halloween as a kid. Now, let's see. I think one last thing, I'm going into shop update. Sorry, Boo, scared them. So I have a few bags that I'm going to try and get in the shop tomorrow, a shop update, and I've been doing some custom orders, so there's not as many bags going in the shop as I would like, but that's fine because I'm still supplying them and doing custom orders for you guys. I am more than happy to take custom requests still, and as I mentioned before, if I get inundated and have too many, then I'd stop taking any orders until I can get those out to you, because I don't like you to wait more than a couple of weeks. That is so nice. Okay, so I just wanted to show you what is sewn so far. I've been getting some new fabrics, using a couple of old ones as well. I have another one of these to put in. I do have some gnome fabric left, so you will still see some of these in the coming weeks for Christmas, and the gnomes in the snow. This has just got one little guy, well, two, with this panel. The rest is just the gnome homes. So I like to mention that. They will have the beaded zipper pulls on, not a zeeded bupper pill. And so we've got that one, that's medium. We've got this one I've just done, which is medium, new fabric. And a lot of them I've been putting some matching fabric instead of the cream when I can get it. So there's that one. I do have some more leaves. This is there's some different sizes popping up. It just depends on the size of the fabric as well I'd get. This is like an extra wide one. I will put all the sizes on when you see them, and this is lined with orange for the fall. Then we have pinky one with elephants, well, some elephants and trees, and this is lined with polka dots, or Amy Butler's dots. Then I have a Christmas one. This was fabric that I used last year as well. So it's the Ghastlies, and this one does have just grey inside. This is a small, and then this one is kind of a little larger than a small. I had to make one with the bras, which I thought was just really nice. And again, dots. I'm going to try to get some of these done for the giveaways for Pinktober as well. I just wanted to give that a try, see what it came out like with the, with a trim, different colour. Then there's this one. This is a nice kind of peachy salmon colour, and it is lined with just some contrasting fabric. And then this one, I did this one yesterday. This is piggies and bacon. I love that. Isn't that cute? So you got the bacon in there for the bacon lovers who like. I know there's bacon lovers out there and piggy lovers, and that's a nice grey. And that's a small as well, but a little wider, I think. Excuse me. So. Yeah, I said so again. That is everything for this week. And again, something's catching in my throat. It's time to say goodbye and say thank you for joining me again. And yeah, I had to come on indoors. A couple of reasons. I was quite cold, and I would have stayed out there longer had the camera not cut off, but it worked out okay. I have been doing a little decorating for fall. Maybe I'll put some pictures in at the end as well, because I generally put them on Instagram. And a couple of pictures probably of the rain and stuff. Just some of the pictures I've put on Instagram this week. I think I should look at strapped inside now. I'll put on at the end. So I want to say thank you for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed watching. I hope you all have a lovely week, and I hope you come back next week and join me in the knitting den. Or out on the knitting porch. We won't know until we get there. Bye guys.